Welcome back to The Price of Business. I am your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Got my good friend Todd Randolph here on the program. We've got his regular feature that he's doing, talking about businesses that are out there, talking about what's happening in the business environment, also talking about how companies are responding to some of the medical things that are going on and changes happening on the political front. But we give him a lot of latitude when he comes on the program. He's with USI, which their website is usi.biz. Todd, kind of give us an overview of what you do and introduce your guest today.
Well, thank you. And today our guests are John Miller, President of Glacier Foods, and Art Ennis, Chief Financial Officer. What we do at USI is we look at it, take an all-encompassing approach to employee benefit programs, help people not only help control costs, but we look at all aspects, whether it's health and lifestyle management, wellness, including wellness programs, the compliance aspect of things, which really is what our show is all about, and looking at healthcare reform.
Yeah, no question about it. And your guest today, let's start with John. John Miller is the president of Glacier. John, kind of give us the elevator speech of Glacier. And if you're in the Houston area, you've seen the trucks, you've seen them all over town, and you've got, I think, really a great history and a great story. Tell us a little bit about the company.
So Glacier Foods, we're a family-owned business founded in 1936, founded in Houston. Started by Bob Glacier, literally selling frozen peas out of the trunk of his car. He began doing that and did the first Pepsi challenge back in the day. He would go to chefs and say, do you want frozen peas or do you want peas from the produce aisle here? And he convinced them that frozen was the way to go. And we began primarily in the frozen food business and moved up into what's known as broadline distribution and now service schools, restaurants, nursing homes, hospitals, golf clubs, all throughout a 6-state region through 2 distribution centers. We have our headquarters here in Houston, and then we have a second location in Coppell, Texas, just outside of Dallas.
All right, Todd, your next question?
Yeah, I think with that amazing growth comes amazing challenges. So from that perspective, I know there's a lot of financial concerns when it just around benefits themselves, but then you also have to consider the Affordable Care Act. How have you approached that, and what concerns do you have going forward?
So which one is that for Art or is that for John?
Let's hear from Art.
Well, from a company standpoint, obviously our employees are our most important resource. We cover 100% of our employees' insurance costs. It's a great retention tool. It's a terrific recruiting tool. We want to make sure we've got our employees taken care of. They can focus on their jobs, focus on really making us the best company possible.
Yeah, very good. And by the way, I'm just curious, what is the website actually for Glacier Foods? John?
www.glacierfoods.com.
Too easy. All right, go ahead over there, Todd.
Well, as far as the Affordable Care Act is concerned, have y'all looked at making some changes? Do you have concerns around the Affordable Care Act? I mean, what do y'all see from an organizational perspective, a financial perspective, and what do you want to do for your employees?
Certainly, it's kind of a twofold answer on our end. One, we're concerned with it because anytime regulation comes into play, you have to be attentive to it. You have to have an understanding of what that impact's going to be, and naturally, across the landscape, frankly, it's going to have a tremendous financial impact. Thankfully, directly for Glacier and how we've approached it, as Art mentioned before, we cover 100% of employee cost. And our benefit program today far exceeds what the minimum requirements are. Part of that is, again, as we mentioned, due to the focus of what the family wants to provide. Secondly, it's used as a attraction and a retention tool for our employees. We continue to monitor what that impact will be and add and look for ways to modify our program, but certainly it is a continued head scratcher, to say the least.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because it makes companies that, in some cases, were cutting edge in the way they took care of their employees, like Trader Joe's, for example, and all of a sudden they feel forced because of these kind of circumstances that everyone's going to have health insurance coverage. Why should I continue to do that? And it makes otherwise good players not want to be good guys. It's kind of strange. Don't you think, Art?
Completely agree. I mean, we really feel that as new regulations come out and changes in the industry, both in the healthcare and employment side, we feel we've got to really count on our experts, on our service providers to give us good information so we make decisions on what sort of plans we can afford and be able to take care of our employees.
Todd?
I think that's spot on. And in Houston, it's a very competitive landscape especially because of oil and gas. And oil and gas kind of feeds down from there. And we were talking about this not long ago. And, when it comes to offering benefits, you have to be concerned about keeping your employees in-house. You've trained them. You want them to continue to stay with you. You don't want them going other places for benefits. So I think what you guys are doing is tremendous from a benefits perspective. That being said, do you have any other concerns around the Affordable Care Act? Do you look to be a differentiator to attract new employees? And do you have is there a concern with the 30-hour mandate for employees as well? Do you have a lot of part-time employees that you'll have to worry about?
Thankfully we do not. We have all our employees as full-time. We occasionally bring in some summer help, but we cover all our employees. We want them, again, to focus on the job and taking care of our customers rather than worrying about where their insurance coverage is going to come from. So a key focus for us.
It's an interesting thing, and I imagine you guys are pretty cutting edge in your own right, John, compared to your competitors when it comes to this area of taking care of employees. You don't have to name names, but I'm fairly familiar with those who are in your same domain area.
Sure.
You guys are pretty good in terms of taking care of your own.
We're not absolutely unique, but we like to consider ourselves at the front of the class. So yes, we're looking always to improve opportunities. One thing recently that we've done to manage our cost is to look at a larger deductible plan while sharing in that with the employees. So we don't pass on that full cost. We absorb it and manage it on our side. That allows us to continue to provide a affordable product with a rich plan. So we think that's one thing that we do that's a little bit unique.
Sounds like it makes a lot of sense. I'm going to have to wrap it up. Great time, though. Enjoyed visiting with our guests. Always like having Todd Randolph with us, USI.biz. And then our guests today, Art Ennis and John Miller. They're both with Glazer. They're a great Houston company. Really been ahead of the curve for almost 80 years. Fantastic. And you can learn more about them at Glazer, Glazier, foods.com, glazerfoods.com. Thanks to all of you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, when we come back, more for you. Do want to remind you, best content here shows up over there at usdailyreview.com. You're listening to The Price of Business.